When I think about stalking, I think about how can I find enough evidence to prosecute. I know stalking's out there, but getting enough evidence to prove it in court is sometimes difficult, and it sometimes takes a period of time.
One of the elements of the law is that there has to be a continuing course of conduct. And the definition of a continuing course of conduct is 2 or more acts which demonstrate a purpose. It's meant to put fear into the life of the victim, to the point to where the victim is going to comply with the perpetrator.
These cases are sometimes so hard for us to prove because we have to be able to convince our jurors that that threat is real. And I think that's so hard for us to be able to do that sometimes because sometimes he doesn't threaten her, you know? They've been in this relationship long enough that he's been able to develop this cunning ability that everything he does is coercive and everything he does is about controlling her. And so while I may not think that those roses are threatening and the 12 members of the jury don't think that's threatening, that's really threatening to her. And so I think that sometimes is the biggest barrier, is getting the other members of the community, especially, you know, if these cases go to trial, to understand that he has this well laid out plan for being able to keep her where he wants her. And while it's not scary to us, it's really scary to her.
Some victims get frustrated because they think law enforcement should do it all for them. That's understandable. I mean, we are here that's our job, but it takes a team effort to build a stalking case, because who's the first person that has contact with the evidence that law enforcement needs to build that case but the victim? And so the victim has to preserve that evidence for us.
Document, document, document. I don't care if you don't know that this person's the one that left the newspaper on the front porch. Write that down. You go outside and your tires are slashed. Well, you don't know who slashed your tires. I don't care. Write it down.
If there are other witnesses around, make sure you get their information so that you can have them as witnesses later if we need them, you know, so that it's not just your story versus his story.
Cell phones these days are just mini computers. So text messages, photos, call logs, all that can be taken off of a phone. Even if they came from a blocked or unknown number, at least be able to document, well, at that time, that's when this person called and harassed me.
You know, all of these stores have really, really good surveillance systems outside. I did have a victim that her ex was stalking her and wasn't able to get the evidence, and then her and her daughter were going through the Kroger pharmacy. Well, guess what they have outside the Kroger pharmacy but a great surveillance system. So what do we get? We get him driving by. That's what we need. And it is, I mean, a lot on the victims to have to do this, but sometimes it's the only way, because we as officers can't be there with a victim 24/7.
Those are things we use to build a stalking case on, and so if a victim can assist us with that, that goes leaps and bounds towards being able to build that case and prosecute it.